How you doing, everybody? It's the podcast about everything, episode two. Uh, Episode two is also called Lockdown Number Two. Once again on lockdown. This is me, Jake, and I've got my co-host Joe with me. How you doing, Joe?
I'm very good, Jake. Pleasure to be your partner in pod once again this week.
Good. How you been feeling?
I'm doing okay, yeah, not too bad. Of course, in a similar situation to everybody else, but I'm coping. I'm surviving. How about you, Jake? How are you doing? You still coping okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. No problems. Same old, really. It's funny. I think I maybe would. Everyone's just trying to get used to it now.
You get
We're
used
two
to
weeks
it.
in, maybe nice. Well, yeah. I mean, what are we? 3 weeks in. 3 weeks on Monday or something.
Yeah.
It is a lovely sunny Easter Saturday. I thought I'd say that, and the sun being out does make everyone feel a bit better, don't you think?
Absolutely, it certainly brightens my mood, which is something I think we'll come on to. But yeah, it's nice out there. And one thing I've noticed, it's gone. It feels like it's gone really quick. I don't know if you get the same feeling, but these last, sort of nearly 3 weeks now since the lockdown began, seems to have gone past so quickly. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just at the moment we're in a state of where I don't know, is everything all merging into one for some people? Days are merging into one, weeks are merging into one. Maybe we're in a state of unknowing as well. I know every day most people are watching the news, the next sort of big update or whatever. But yeah, it just although time in a way time is standing still, but at the same time it's fast forwarded. And this is nearly 3 weeks up.
I know it's incredible, and I find myself sort of one thing that's sort of taken over my day is constantly checking the numbers, and unfortunately I'm in the numbers of how many new cases, how many people have passed away in each country. I mean, it's just constant statistics and videos, and it's filling up our lives. So I'm hoping, Jay, between me and you and this podcast, we can give people other things to think about and talk about, other than the global pandemic. So not that it's not a
Yeah,
big deal, of course it is, but yeah, maybe we can help to brighten up their day. What do you think?
I think so. And hopefully, without sounding too, let's say, big-headed or overindulgent, people might want to listen to this. They might want to listen to this. Sorry, excuse me, sore throat. Not corona, just a sore throat.
I hope so.
People will want to listen to this and give their time, and it might be an hour that stops them being dickheads going out for a run or a picnic in a park. Don't you think?
Well, that is the hope, but it's the hope that keeps us is the hope that kills us, Jake. And unfortunately, I think we're living in a world where there are a lot of misguided individuals who think that the rules don't apply to them, that they're indestructible, and unfortunately, that isn't the case. And I don't know what it's going to take, but perhaps police measures need to be a bit stricter. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I believe so. I totally agree with that one. I like the way you described them there. You've always been the more diplomatic out of the two of us. So if anyone listening, Joe, Joe just trying to put dickhead in a nicer term, but that is what you people are if you're going out and you're doing things like this. All right, just listen to the rules, stay in, get on the video chat. I don't know, text your friend, your girlfriend, your boy, whoever, your best friends, video chat your families. Don't go outdoors. It is really simple, guys. Things
Yeah.
could be a lot worse.
No, and I think on off the back of that as well, just to say a point that I know for some people it's very difficult, and I think we're particularly lucky in even in the instance, Jake, that both of us live in a household where there is a garden, for example, or there is big open spaces around where you can maybe go for a walk or a run or a jog and not necessarily bump into people or be confined into having to decide whether or not to leave your house because you physically can't self-isolate in that instance by keeping 2 meters apart. So I think we're quite lucky in a way, and I've realised for some people maybe who live in a high-rise flat or in an area where they don't have a garden or an outdoor area, that it is difficult, and they do feel that they need to go maybe to a park in London or something like that in order just to get a break from the four walls that maybe they're living in. So I do have sympathy with some people, but equally, the rules are the rules. They're there to protect us, and if you can't see that, then you're short-sighted. And yeah, let's just hope people can be sensible, particularly at this time, sort of 4-day weekend. It's Easter holiday, Jake, and yeah, I mean, I guess for you, it's a couple of days off of work because you're still actually traveling to work every day. So yeah, how's
Yeah,
that for
yeah.
you?
It's actually 4 days off of work. I've not worked since Thursday, so I had Good Friday
Oh,
off.
mhm.
Today was my day off anyway. Sundays we don't work, and obviously the bank holiday I'm having off as well. So yeah, it's a nice 4 day break. Don't get me wrong, it'd be better if I could share it with all of my loved ones and my friends and go out and do stuff. I can't. Yeah, it's nice just to have the break, I guess.
Great. And off the back of that, then I'm going to ask you because now you have got maybe those few days off of work, and it's been a few days since we last spoke. I mean, what have you been doing? Anything. It could be one thing, multiple things. What have you been doing to stay positive during what's been, of course, a difficult time for us all?
Little bits and pieces, really. At the moment, just there's loads of little bits and pieces I need to do, just little jobs and that, little chores, fixing things and stuff like that. I've been making sure to stay active. At the bottom of my garden, I've got there's like a little room with some weights and that in it, and I can just do that. And also, myself and my girlfriend and my friend Jamie, we train with a friend of ours called Kerry, and we are doing PT sessions via the internet, via Skype. And yesterday we did one, the three of us, with Matthew. So that's one thing sort of keeping us all busy.
Yeah.
And just general, general chit chat really. Between people, we just try and keep things busy and just keep things going. What about you?
No, absolutely. Well, for me, I think one thing is, I must say, like you mentioned earlier, the sunshine has really helped to keep me positive. And what that's meant is, again, going back to being fortunate, I've got a garden. I've been spending a lot of time in that garden. For example, we recently moved into our house. We moved in October time, 2019, and of course we've come off the back of that winter now, that autumn and winter. So I've had a chance to actually clean up that garden. So the jet wash has been out to clean the patio. We've been de-weeding, mowing the grass, and keeping busy actually outside, which has been nice because that sunshine really makes a difference. And I personally do enjoy being outdoors. I am getting my maximum 1 hour a day exercise, be it a walk or a run or being outside, going on those walks in the countryside. So yeah, I think being outside for me has been a big difference. I've really enjoyed that, and yeah. I mean, what's your views on being outside, Jake?
See, I'm the opposite to you. Some people call me a hermit. Some people call me a recluse. Not because I go out my way to be. It's just I'm just not that fussed. Oh yeah, the sun's shining. Yeah, great. I mean, yeah, I'll go out for 5-10 minutes. Right? I'll be honest. I'm gonna sound like a bit of a grumpy old git here. I don't like the heat. Right.
Okay.
When I go on holiday, you find me under the shade. That's where you find me. I've got pale skin. All right. I'm not gonna tan. So that's out of it. It's nice. The sun is nice to look at, and it's nice when the sun's out. Everything is better. They do say things are better in the sunshine. Yeah, I am not that fussed about it. I'm actually going to say it. I like winter. I like the cold.
That's a big statement, Jake. That is a big statement.
And I stand by that statement. Don't you worry.
Well, can I just reiterate one thing to listeners? I've known Jake pretty much my whole life, and I can say from spending many summers with him, both in the UK and abroad on holidays, it's true what he says. He does like the shade. It may be, as he also mentioned, due to his incredibly fair skin, shall we say. You'd never believe that we're both from Italian descent when you see us, because I generally have a bit of a olive skin glow, particularly after being in the sun, whereas Jake has that kind of a lobster look. He's much more Sebastian out of The Little Mermaid than, I don't know, some other Tarzan. Let's give it. Yeah, he's more Sebastian than Tarzan. Put it like that.
Well, actually, if I remember correctly, I think the Little Mermaid's dad, he was quite tanned, wasn't he?
Don't know. He lived under the sea, didn't he? Was he tanned?
Well, this girl doesn't understand. Anyway, Disney's a complete other subject. Don't let me go off on that. Right.
Okay.
He was darker. He was tan. He had like a tan, which was weird for someone who lived under the sea. I don't know.
That is
Does
true.
Have some Who knows?
We need a biologist on to explain how tanning works underwater. Although they do say that, don't they? You know, apparently when you go in the ocean, you know, you get your tan, you're more at risk of getting that tan. But may I just add, and I'm sure you'll agree, Jake, if you're going to be out in the sun, people, please put that suntan lotion on, or that sunscreen, shall we say, you know, however high the factor needs to be to protect your skin. Because the worst thing you want to do by avoiding one illness in COVID-19 is to go and get yourself another illness through skin damage. So Jake, I'm sure you advocate it. Wear that sunscreen.
Factor 50, baby. Factor 50 all day.
Minimum factor 50.
Listen, any lower than that, then Sebastian's coming out to play.
That's fair enough. Well, no, that's... No, the sunshine is good. It can be bad for you, but of course, the fact that we have it, you know, it is tempting for people, isn't it? You know, they want to go out and have those barbecues, and they want to go out and have the sunbathing sessions. And if it's in the confines of your own home or garden, then fair enough. But try to avoid doing it in public places. That is not deemed exercise, which is the only reason really we should be going out, aside from visiting shops and pharmacies. So stay safe out there, people. Stay safe. Unless you're like Jake and you love being indoors during this hot and sunny time.
I mean, I just want to add on to that. When Joe's saying, you know, stay safe and sunbathe or whatever, don't go outside. I mean, don't go outside your house. Stay in your garden if you've got one. If you don't, okay, you don't. And that's just something you've got to live with for a bit. Because it's all going to clear up sooner or later. And I don't know, you can go on holiday, you can tan as much as you like. But once it's all cleared up, go back to doing things as normal. I can't stress that enough.
No, absolutely. And I just, you know, on the back of you saying, you know, you actually prefer sometimes, or very much so at this time, you're quite happy to be in the confines of your four walls. Or your house. You know, anything in particular you've done to help keep in touch with people over this last few days, Jake?
We've done a lot of quizzes, both with, you know, our group of friends show and my girlfriend's group of friends. We did one last night, an Easter quiz. That was good, you know. And we are keeping in touch a bit more. I know that at the moment, me and Joe will vouch for this, me and a few of the guys, Joe included, we're playing Call of Duty. Am I allowed to say that? Is that advertising? I don't know.
Oh, anyway, I don't know. It's legit.
We're playing a war-based computer game it's on a PlayStation 4 and it's on other various platforms. You'll get the drift. And I must say, we do this thing, we call it Midnight Madness. We all log on at midnight and play till the early hours of the morning. I'm suffering for that today because I only got 3 or 4 hours sleep and got a massive migraine because I need to sleep more. But yeah, that I feel that by doing that, I think us guys, we've all been speaking to each other a lot more than what we would have done beforehand. I find that weird that it takes a pandemic for it to get to that, but it's something we can all do and we all enjoy it. And, you know, we all get together of an evening and we'll have jokes and that online. Yeah, what's your take on it, Joe?
Absolutely, it's been great fun playing the Call of Duty, and I think one of the things that it helps for a lot of people, you know, and obviously I recognise not everyone has a PlayStation or a PC or an Xbox or a gaming device, but you know, it is one of those games which is great fun. It's cross-platform, so people can play with their friends even if they have a different type of gaming console to them. But also is free. You know, to download the game is free of charge. There is, of course, a full paid version which gives you extra features and gameplay, but the basic version is free of charge, and I think that's great as well. It just means people can log on and enjoy playing those games with their friends. And you know, and if you've got a headset, you know, you don't need anything fancy. I certainly can't speak for other consoles, but I know on the PlayStation, you know, a normal headset just plugs into the bottom, you know, sort of 3.5mm jack. plugs straight into the bottom, and if you've got a headset with a microphone, you can chat away with your friends while you play, and it's a great bit of social and you know, Jake, even the word gulag has been trending on Twitter. I noticed this week there's been a lot of without going too far down the line of sort of general assumptions, but it generally seems to be partners of males who are playing the game, wondering what the gulag is, and it's been trending. So there you go. Call of Duty has helped trend the word gulag on Twitter. How about that?
Yeah, I think we should probably explain what the gulag is. I've only been there once.
It's because you're so skilled. You're such a skilled player. You don't ever go there.
It is. You're not touching me on that battlefield, boy. Anyway, on one of the game modes, I think it's called Battle Royale. I don't want to talk too much about computer games anyway, because I don't want to bore people for those who don't like them. But anyway, I've got to explain this for context, so we understand the joke.
Absolutely.
There's the Battle Royale mode. I've only ever played it once. I think it's everybody against everybody. Is that right, Joe? Is there teams on it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think you could do two versions. You can play in a team, or you can play as individuals.
Okay, right. So you play either or, and the goal is, I believe, is to wipe everyone out or to be the last man standing. Is that correct?
That's right. Last man standing.
Okay. So basically, when you die in this round, usually you have to sit out for the whole round, but you get one chance. So if you die the first time, you get sent to this place called the Gulag, where it's you and another player that has died in the game that you have to fight out between you, and the one who beats the other can go back into the round without having to wait for the next one. So I once was there, shot my way out of it, did all right. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I'm guessing now, the Gulag is the new word for the doghouse, should we say?
Yeah, it's like being in purgatory, isn't it? You're sort of in between worlds, aren't you? If you survive, you go back, and if you're dead.
Exactly. So any of you ladies listening, which, are getting a little bit annoyed because your man's playing a bit more on the game than you expect, giving you attention and whatnot, the new word for doghouse is the Gulag. So put them in the Gulags, girls.
I like that, Jake. I like that very much. The Gulag is the new doghouse. That's definitely coming off the back of this. I like it. I just hope my other half doesn't put me in the Gulag for speaking too much about Call of Duty, which I've been doing in and around the house. So there you go. But no, fantastic. So brilliant. So, we've been keeping ourselves entertained by the sounds of it, Jake, in numerous ways. And that's all good, as we talked about last time, in terms of frame of mind, positivity, and, staying busy in order to make sure, we don't all become lazy slobs. And in our particular example, Jake, I reckon me and you have probably been accused of that times before in our lives. So to be active is a good thing.
I own that. All right. Call me a slob, I'll be a slob. I don't care.
Okay, so this is Joe and the Slob Jake broadcasting to you via this podcast, and
don't use it so freely. What's wrong with it? Be nice.
I'll add it to the other words I call you in private, Jake. Don't worry about it. Sweetheart. So yeah, I did wonder, Jake, as well. Of course, tomorrow is Easter Sunday. Not everybody celebrates it, maybe in the way that we do, but as two first-generation Anglo-Italian lads growing up with parents from the Christian faith, I think it's something probably we've celebrated more so maybe than others, and also probably with just through Italian tradition. So I was kind of intrigued under the circumstances of this current lockdown and restrictions. How will you be celebrating Easter tomorrow? And also, how does that contrast to maybe how you would normally celebrate Easter? Maybe worth finding that out first.
Okay, let me start off by saying Easter. Now, I don't know if anyone else agrees with me, and I'm probably going to get a lot of criticism for this, but whatever. I feel like Easter is the poor relation of Christmas. I don't feel like in general, I don't think anyone really celebrates it in the UK as such. It's not a big deal, if you know what I mean. So it's almost like it's a little bit, I don't know. Yeah, it's just a bit, I know my family celebrated it, but I think in general, it's not a big thing in the UK. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm just going by what I know and what I've experienced.
I reckon if there was more days off like at Christmas, if you got a long period of time off, I reckon people would celebrate it more, shall we say. It'd be made more of a deal of if people knew they were going to get a week, 2 weeks off work. And ironically, at the moment, for a lot of people, they're getting much more than that off work. So watch them celebrate Easter. But yeah, obviously
maybe
not
let's
the
start
best.
celebrating.
Okay. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. But usually my Easter would consist of just a lot of us all being together and having a meal together and whatnot, eating Easter eggs. So where there would have been, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 of us, maybe 20 of us at some point, this year there is 3 of us. So it will be very different. I mean, we've planned out like an Easter meal and stuff. It's also my cousin's 21st tomorrow as well, so I'm going to organise maybe like a big Skype chat or a Zoom chat for all of us and get together.
Oh, fantastic!
Wish him a happy birthday. Yeah, I've not actually told him about that yet. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do after the podcast. yeah. So it's just going to be a bit of a weird one, where it's just going to be just like any other day, really. I guess. What about you?
Yeah, I think in terms of tradition-wise, very similar to yourself. Very much about being around family, either having sort of family coming over to my parents' house or going around to other families' houses and having that big meal, which consists of usually big old roast and lots of cakes and desserts. A bit like a watered-down version of Christmas dinner, really. But yeah, I mean, it's all changed this year, and it'd be just me and my fiance. As I mentioned last time, she's a frontline worker during the current pandemic, and fortunately for me, and for herself, maybe she's got a day off tomorrow from work. So we're going to spend it together, and I'm going to do something I've never done before on an Easter Sunday. I am going to have a barbecue. So that is how I'm going to jazz up my Easter Sunday. I'm going to have a barbecue. I'm going to put some burgers, sausages, some nicely prepared, marinated pork chops on there as well. And we're going to have a meal a bit unlike any other meal I've ever had on Easter Sunday. So yeah, that's the plan, my end. Have you got any Easter eggs, Jake? Have you managed to get any before this all happened?
I have. I've got 2. My girlfriend dropped me one off, and her mum did too. So I've got a couple of Easter eggs, and actually no. My girlfriend's got me, which is quite nice actually. I'm a big fan of Terry's Chocolate Orange, so she's bought me basically a Terry's Chocolate Orange gift set, you might say.
Very nice.
It's got 2 of the orange things in there. It's got the bar. It's got little pieces in that, and I think I've got a Cadbury's one over there as well. So yeah, I've got a few. What about you?
Yes, Sam. I've got just the 2 as well. Same. Fortunately, my mother-in-law managed to get one across to me prior to this all happening, and then yeah, in recent weeks, my partner, she got me one as well. So there's a little bit of chocolate there to indulge on come Easter Sunday, and of course, what we like to have here with my partner is a traditional morning mini egg hunt. So this generally consists of planning mini eggs around the house, generally sort of in the living room, front room / kitchen area, hiding a load of mini eggs, and go seek, basically. Go and find them all, and what you find, you eat. So it's a bit different this year, being it's just me and the other half, so I'm going to do it for her. I'm going to surprise her. She doesn't know yet. And get her to go hunt for some mini eggs. So try and jazz up the day. Try and jazz up the morning with eating some chocolate before breakfast. So there you go. Get that sugar rush going.
Get it going. I was going to ask you actually. Obviously, you mentioned they're both Italian and whatnot. Have you ever been to Sicily for Easter? There they do not muck around.
I've not been. So no.
It's a different ballgame, mate. It's like, well, especially where my dad's from, it's like a 3-day, like that whole town is dead. The whole town is dead pretty much, all right? Other than Easter. It is mad. They got parades going on. They've got, they basically act out, so not to get too heavily religious or whatever, they act out on Easter morning, they act out the angel coming down and telling Mary that Jesus has come back to life. But they act out like these big statues, like 20, 40 guys are holding these statues, and they're bouncing it around, and they're running from one side of the town to the other, and they do it in 2 parts. They do the morning part, where like the little angel statue comes out to Mary. Oh yeah, Jesus is back. Whatever. Yeah, whatever. And then so that happens, and then so everyone breaks for lunch about 1 o'clock. And then everyone comes back at 2 o'clock. All right, after having probably 3-4 bottles of wine each, and they're bouncing statues around again to show the resurrection. It's just nuts. I've never seen nothing like it. You want to go somewhere for an Easter break, right? And you want a quiet little thing, don't go Sicily. Do not go, all right? Because it is just constant. I mean, not this year. I mean, Italy in general this year, the situation is bad there, so, you know. But in general, you got to see it at least once. You never go back, but I've seen it any time.
It sounds fantastic, and to be honest with you, I must say I really love that type of culture being lived and being experienced by people that live in towns, villages, and I realise even these small villages where there's maybe only hundreds rather than thousands of people, and being able to come together in that way. And actually, I imagine that's going to be a massive blow for communities across maybe particularly those heavily Christian countries who celebrate Easter in that way through those traditions. It must be a real blow because they probably want to be out there enjoying those moments together as a community. And I imagine it's going to hit hard for a lot of people to not be able to do that. And you can only hope that under the circumstances they avoid temptation and they keep their distance and continue to do so. But it's about pulling together, isn't it? Putting together in any way you can. And you mentioned already there's video conversations people can have. I think there's probably going to be some live streaming of mass and churches, and the Pope probably doing his thing, and the Archbishop of Canterbury doing his thing, and people pulling together, hopefully, in that way, in a virtual way rather than in a physical way, so that we can help beat this virus. So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think I'm going to just use the day really to eat a lot of food. I'm going to eat a lot of food. I'm going to drink alcohol. I'm not going to lie. It's probably going to be quite a bit consumed on both levels. I'm going to veg out a bit, probably outside. And I'm going to veg out inside and watch a lot of TV probably, have those video calls. And it will be an Easter like no other.
On the subject of watching TV, there's a new Tiger King episode allegedly coming out tomorrow. I'm hearing.
Oh.
That's for anyone who's heard the last podcast about the Tiger King. We get a little bit more of the madness, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. It is utter chaos in terms of a program, and I don't really know what else they could tell us I'm actually afraid of what they could possibly tell us in another episode that we don't already know. I mean, what kind of chaos could ensue?
Well, I don't know. Pat, this next episode is allegedly being bought out by that guy who bought the zoo off, and that Jeff Lowe, the one from Vegas who's like a swinger
with the bandana and the hat and the
that's him. And apparently he's bringing an episode out, and I don't know if this could be from his point of view, so I guess that could be kind of crazy. I mean, a man that sleeps with other women as well as his wife, and his wife choosing for him to do that sort of thing. He's going to have some pretty crazy opinions and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
No, absolutely.
I've been hearing it all week, all over social media, different channels of social media. So I will be watching Netflix very closely for this new episode to come out.
Okay.
Fit that into the schedule. Fit that into the schedule, guys. That's got to be done.
Got to get the Tiger King out there. Yeah, absolutely. And can you believe as well it's gone as high as people asking the American president whether Joe Exotic will get some kind of prison pardon? I mean, what the I mean, the thing is, do you know what this says to me? It says to me that humans, in a strange way, kind of have they kind of like the anti-hero. They and we've seen it time and again through movies and plays and books and literature. The anti-hero is kind of loved, and I think maybe, I don't know, why do you think that is? Why is someone like Joe Exotic being sort of hailed as some kind of hero when he's clearly not a very good guy, along with the rest of them in that show? Why, Jake?
Exactly. And my issue is with this, like you just said, the rest of them. Why is all the blame being put on one guy? All right, when there's 2 or 3 other people. There's that Doc Mac. He's a weirdo. All right, you can't tell me he ain't doing some cult work. Right, you got the famous Carol Baskin. I mean, you know what? I feel like every time I say that name, I have to say it with a Southern American accent. So because that's whenever I hear it, I only hear it in that accent in my head.
All right, I'm going to put it right out there to you, Jake. Do you
Yeah.
think she killed her husband?
Oh yes, I'm going to just say yes.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know why. There's just a bit of. You just look at her. She just seems a bit odd, and it just wouldn't surprise me if it came out that she did do it.
Do you know, I think when you look at the information you get shared in that program and the way they talk about how, he was about to, he told people, I'm going to leave her, I'm going to sort of break it off and get rid of her. I've made a terrible mistake. And then literally within days, he's gone, he goes missing. And, it's bizarre, absolutely bizarre. And when you hear the sort of testimonies from his other family members and how she snuck in and took all the paperwork and the will before anyone else could see it. It all seems proper. And what about her current husband as well? What is that all about? I mean,
did you see the photos of their wedding? She had him on a leash, dressed as a tiger on a beach. It's
bizarre. Just absolutely bizarre. But yeah, you think she did it then? Yeah.
He looks. Yeah. Sorry.
You think she did it? You think she killed him?
I think that side. Yeah, definitely. But look at it. The first husband, well, technically as her second husband, he was like 20 years older than her. This guy she's with now is also looks a lot older than she is. Right? There's a theme here. There's a theme. All right, and I've read things on social media. I don't know how true they are that new crime files have been opened regarding the disappearance of that late husband of hers. So yeah, so I personally feel she's gaining notoriety and she's getting quite famous anyway. I reckon she might even get her own documentary. I'm just putting it out there.
No, it wouldn't surprise me, absolutely. And the anti-hero continues, we've seen it time and again. Even like I mentioned previously, Breaking Bad, there's a lot of strange things going on there where we've got the anti-hero. And in some of my favorite TV shows, such as Sopranos, Tony Soprano, one of the best TV shows probably of all time. If you haven't seen it, check out The Sopranos, classic anti-hero. Walter White, Breaking Bad.
Yeah, The Sopranos, definitely an excellent thing to watch on lockdown, I'd say. Definitely.
No, absolutely. Number of seasons to go through on that one as well, and it's engrossing. And for those who think it's just a thing about the mafia in America, it's so much more. It's about lives, it's about psychology, it's about human interaction and how people deal with things. It's so much more. And I'd say if you liked Breaking Bad and the way that explored the anti-hero, and I know lots of people have seen that, I would recommend Sopranos as well for that kind of similar exploration of the anti-hero character, most definitely. So, anything else you've seen, Jake? Anything else?
Let's have a look. What else can we get people to do whilst on lockdown that everyone goes? I mean, I've never watched Game of Thrones. I mean, maybe that could be a good time for people to start watching it. There's a lot there.
Absolutely.
Good to watch. What else? There's all sorts. If you scour the likes of Netflix or Amazon Prime, if you've got it, Disney Plus has come out. If you like Disney, there's a plethora of things to watch on that. Not just Disney cartoons, films, wildlife documentaries. Because I know Joe likes wildlife documentaries. He likes David Attenborough.
I do very much indeed, and the good thing about that is, of course, even if you don't have one of the paid subscription sites, I mean, applications like BBC iPlayer for all four, and the other terrestrial channel equivalents, or Freeview channel equivalents. There's a lot of good free content out there to watch, and one that actually I've been recommended. Haven't seen it yet. I think we're going to explore it this weekend. This Easter Bank Holiday weekend is a program that's on BBC iPlayer. It's called Wise Children. So this is a production involved with regards to a lot of music. I'll be honest, I don't know much about it. But it's come highly recommended to me. It's the vision of an Angela Carter novel, and it's called Wise Children. It's on BBC iPlayer, and that's one that I've been recommended. And I think I'm going to have a good look at that over this weekend as well. You know.
Good. Okay, here's one for you then. Have you got any weird lockdown stories, or anything you've heard that made you think, "Oh, that's crazy," or it's made you laugh?
The closest I can come to in terms of something I've experienced was I was on a lockdown virtual stag do. So unfortunately, I was due to be going on a stag do. Actually, just last weekend, it was a 4 days, 3 nights away in Sofia, Bulgaria, and it was stag do, which was all planned, of course, under the circumstances. No travel was permissible, so we had to stay back, and of course everyone's self-isolating. So, fortunately, the organisers of the event, the best men that were involved, they arranged a stag do quiz on the same eve of the weekend where we were supposed to be going away. So we had a quiz, which was all based around the stag. With lots of questions based around him, which we had to answer, and we played some drinking games involved around that. So if you got the question right, the stag had to drink. If you got the question wrong, you had to drink. And I can honestly say it is the first time I got pretty drunk via a video call. So now I was indulging myself. Drinking beers, ciders, mixers, and next thing I know, a sort of hour and a half video call involved me being pretty drunk, which I haven't been for quite a while. So that was pretty good. So the closest I can get was getting drunk via a video stag do. So yeah, that was the closest I get. How about you, Jake? Any crazy stories you've heard?
I've got a couple. I'll start with the less scandalous one and work my way into the second one. Okay. So this is probably a few weeks back. I was talking to my sister, and she said she had been talking to someone that was complaining about the lack of food in supermarkets. You know, when all the panic buying was starting, everything was getting pretty much bought out.
Yeah.
And this lady was like, "Oh my God, I can't get no chicken nuggets." So she was like, "Well, why is that a problem?" She's like, "Oh, my kids only eat chicken nuggets. My kids will only eat chicken nuggets. If I can't get nothing, they're going to starve throughout lockdown." And I'm just thinking to myself, surely, right, we're in this desperate time, right? Your kids will eat anything if they can't get it. But why the hell, right, are you just feeding your kids chicken nuggets anyway? Now, I'm not a child dietitian, and I was quite a fat kid when I was young. I'm not gonna lie, and I ate a lot of chicken nuggets. I ate a lot of everything. I'm not gonna lie. Right?
With you on that one. I'm with you on that one, Jake.
The fact is, we've got this third world problem now. Where like, oh my God, I can't get chicken nuggets for my children. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? You have to make something else, you idiot. Like what? Like open this kid's pack. You're gonna create a fussy child, all right? So that annoyed me just hearing that story. But the next story I've got. The next one, I don't know how you can react to it. Personally, when I found that, I was shocked and slightly amused. I heard there was someone who had just began dating a girl during the whole lockdown thing. Now, before
they started dating during the lockdown.
Well, no, I think it was just before the lockdown.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, so I think they started talking and whatnot. And then obviously the lockdown happened, and they both live in their separate houses. So they had a little Skype date, you might say. One thing led to another. He goes over to her house, breaking all social distancing rules. All right.
Right. Okay.
Gets kind of freaky with her. All right. Then comes home, right, and decides to self-isolate for 7 days just to make sure he ain't caught nothing.
Right. Okay. So you're telling me this guy, he went to go and get some, shall we say, refreshment, some happy time, some joyous occasion, shall we say, with this individual.
If you watch Friday Night Dinner, I believe the word is nippy.
Okay. He went to get some nippy, Let's hope he as we mentioned last week, let's hope he took the appropriate precautions, because if he didn't, he's going to need to self-isolate for a lot more than 7 days, after doing that kind of thing. So yeah, there's a lot more than you can catch than COVID-19 from spending time with people you don't know so well, shall we say. So wait a second. Let me get this straight. So he went chatting to this girl, goes over, has his what did you refer to it as from that show, Jay?
I did it. Nippy.
Then he has to self-isolate for 7 days. Is this guy basically saying, I'm one and done. I've got what I wanted. I'm sorry, I can't speak to you or see you anymore. I'm self-isolating. Is this a way of getting out of having to see this person again?
Well, from what I understand, I don't know how much he's really into her, to be honest.
Right, I see.
I don't know if there's... Let's just put it this way. If he was playing a game of baseball, he did not score a home run. I'd say he got I'd say he got to third base. So
right.
Okay. I mean, I'm trying to be as eloquent as I can with this, not say exactly what happened.
But that is one way of breaking up with someone, isn't it? I'm sorry, I can't see you anymore. I have to self-isolate. I know that means we can still video chat, but it's probably best that we don't, because maybe there could be some issue with us transferring, some kind of virus via the internet. I don't know. But this sounds like to me this guy is trying to get out of this situation. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, I don't really know the finer details. I just know that is what happened. But in my head, I'm like, are you that depraved that you can't just not get any action for I don't know, 3 weeks for now?
Yeah.
What I'm saying, things are evolving. All right, things are evolving. People go on Skype dates. They're then leading to breaking social distancing. So yeah, it's So that's probably the most scandalous thing I've heard so far. There's probably more out there.
I would say, for the good of the nation and humankind, all of these dating applications should put on hold until this is over. There should be no temptation allowed for people to meet people they haven't already met before, for these kinds of intimate relations, shall we say. It's just not good for anyone, Close them down. No, of course, I'm not advocating that. We're going to get a lot of people upset with us if I start saying that. So, look, you got to do what you got to do, people. But, don't go and meet people. Don't do it. Stay self-isolated. It's best for you. It's best for them. Protect the NHS. Protect people's lives.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, that's probably one of the weirdest things I've heard in the whole lockdown. I'm sure there's going to be more. If this goes any longer, there will be more. But yeah.
Sort of secretive lockdown booty calls. Is that what you're saying?
Basically, yeah. It's almost like, I don't know. It's just, I just found the whole thing weird. It's like, all right, you don't want to catch the virus, but it's okay. I'll risk it. I'll risk it for a piece of action. It's just, I don't know.
I reckon
maybe this person's the type of person who's sunbathing in a park and meeting up with their friends. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I think if you're risking catching a deadly virus in order just to get some, I'd say you're probably the type of person who risks a lot of things quite regularly. This probably isn't your first time of taking a risk in order to get some, if you're going to be doing it under the circumstances. So, yeah. A brave soul, arguably a stupid soul, but a brave soul nonetheless, by the sounds of it.
Let's not glorify this individual, right? Let's not put that on him, okay? Because that was irresponsible. So no, anyone listening, don't be irresponsible.
Don't. And as it's you got to stay safe, people. You got to stay safe. So, Jake, what's next? How are you returning to work on Tuesday? Have you got anything planned?
No, just carrying on as normal. What about you?
I am going to be very shortly building a set of garden chairs and table with attached parasol, which will be arriving hopefully in the next few days. So somewhere for us to sit outside now that our patio is clean. So I'm going to be kept busy doing that. I'm going to keep it on top of work also in the meantime. And I will be checking out some of those TV shows. I think certainly I'll be looking forward to that Tiger King if it does come out, like you said it would. I'm going to hold you to that, by the way. If that Tiger King does not come out tomorrow, that extra bonus episode, I am, as soon as this lockdown is done, I'm going to hunt you down, Jake. I'm going to hunt you down.
You're going to try and hunt me like Joe tried to hunt Carol?
I am going to try and hunt you like that tiger hunted that woman's arm.
What, the one who was offered reconstructive surgery but decided, no, that's okay. I just had my arm cut off.
Well, I did think about that, and I was thinking, you know, like, it's not like over here where we have the NHS. They got to pay for that shit in America, don't they? So she was probably like, that's a lot of money. Do you know what? I'll just go without the arm.
Well, maybe out of the money she's made from this program, she can get herself a prosthetic or something, all right?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Hey, I mean, it's a different topic for a different time, but you just made me think, like, what about those futuristic films, you know, where they have, like, the bionic people, you know, that are, like, half person, half machine, you know, not quite RoboCop, but more like, you know, we're going to give you some prosthetic arm which is made of steel and you're kind of like superhuman strength. You know, this is going to be a reality. I'm sure it's going to be.
Yeah, I think the world needs to get over COVID-19 first. I think that's the main thing.
You make a good point. I get a bit ahead of myself here with bionic people, but it does really interest me.
If in the future we can get someone who's got a bionic, you know, limb or something onto the podcast, great. I'd be more than happy to have a chat.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Me too. I'm going to try and research that, Jake. Don't worry. I'm going to try and bring something to the table for bionic limb specialists.
Also, guys, once this is done, this whole COVID-19, and we can start actually like interacting with each other again, like face to face. Me and Joe will probably get some half decent podcast equipment, which may make us sound a bit better. So just bear with us with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a difficult time, and just sod's law, we decided to make this podcast, Jake, whilst we can't be face to face to do it. So, but I think the listeners will stay patient with us. You know, they'll stay loyal until we actually sound in all of our glorious tones ready for them. So.
Manly voices.
Well, you know, if you can be manly and elegant at the same time, you know, as long as I sound elegant, I'll be happy.
Manly and elegant. No, that's a double threat. One more makes a triple threat. Manly, elegant, and articulate.
Oh wow! Now we're going some way to. We got to be careful, Jake. We don't want to lose our listener base by sounding too posh.
True.
We'll do it.
I mean, you know, maybe we could do, I don't know, theme podcast or something. We could do it in an accent. I mean, I'm not very good at accents. I could practice for a week.
I reckon we've offended enough people already without having to do accents. But you never know. we could push the boat out.
That's true. But yeah, so anything else to say, Joe? Are you all right on this?
I'm good. It's been a pleasure, as always, Jake. And I look forward to episode 3 and whatever we might encounter in the next week or so.
Right. Okay, guys, this has been episode 2. Easter Saturday. Have a good Easter weekend. Be safe, be responsible. Don't be a dickhead. Don't go out. Anything else to say, Joe?
Other than that, you know, he has risen. He has risen. Enjoy your Easter, people, and thanks for your time.
Okay, all right. So it's a goodbye from me,
and it's a goodbye from me.
See you later, guys. Have a good one. Bye bye.